Could you briefly tell us about yourself, about your connection with the subject of the film, and perhaps most importantly, what you really wanted to say and achieve with this film?
Asma, the protagonist of our film. She decided to tackle an issue that was very close to her heart, which was that she was married very young. Yes. And because of that, she could not continue her education. And many girls were facing this situation in the camp. And I just want to say, she's not going against early marriage, but she's trying to tell these girls, like, I understand you're in a difficult situation. I was in that same situation myself. But life can continue, and you can continue education, and it's important that you do and that you follow your dreams. And even if you have difficulties or things holding you back, don't let that happen, and continue with your life. And so she's really empowering them. And we were lucky that she was starting this project right when we contacted her. So we got to document it from the beginning to the end. And we were able to see the impact and the transformation on the girl.
How did you start? Did you bring your own crew?
It was extremely challenging to be able to get to the refugee camp. I mean, yes. Remember that we were in the middle of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. So we had to get permits from the Jordanian government. So we thought that we had all the permits. All the crew goes to Jordan, and we get there and suddenly we find out that not everything was not all the permits were in place. So we had to wait.
Yeah. And also we were planning to be able to film the entire day in order to be able to have the sunset, the golden hours. And that changed as well because they were kicking us out every day at 3.
The DOP is a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was he allowed in the house during the reading sessions and the interviews?
Yes. It was really helpful before getting to Jordan to be able to build a relationship with Asma. We weren't so different after all. It seemed that way. Like we were living parallel lives, and in the beginning, you feel like, wow, I've never lived through a war. I'm from Mexico. She's from Jordan. We have completely different experiences. She's a 28-year-old mother of 4. Mm-hmm. And after you take out these like superficial layers and when you actually start getting to know a person, you realize at least in my case, I was much more similar to her and we had a lot in common. And building this trust was the key. Yes. In order for us to be able to create this film. Yes. And so to answer your question, when we arrived there, we had already kind of entered her world.
Yes.
And I think it helped. And she told me once that it helped that he was my dad, first of all. Yes. And then that I constantly was explaining to her that the people that were coming with us, that we trusted them.
Yes.
So she trusted us, we trusted them, and it just became like a circle of trust.
The interviews with the girls, did you have you did that on purpose, of course, but what was your idea of?
Well, at the beginning we were avoiding interviews, but eventually as the days went by, we started realizing that these girls, like each girl in the project, have their own stories, their own backgrounds, their own thoughts, their own dreams. And how interesting would it be to be able to have like an intimate moment with each one of them? And that's why we got away from all the distractions. We put them on a black background. It's just you and them.
Yes.
And that was very, very important because it gives a space for them to have a connection with the viewer.
Yes. Can you already tell something about your next project?
We have already said no to a couple of opportunities because we want to make sure that the neighborhood storyteller is going to have an impact.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get distracted right now.
No,
I understand. We want to make sure that 1 million women and girls are going to watch this film.
Yes.
And they are going to be doing something for themselves.